favorites. The entire process was a lot of fun. I hope it was a lot of fun for him as well. This gentleman was absolutely new to investing in the Dubai real estate market, and he was looking for the best ROI. Before he ever spoke to me and my team, he had already interviewed a lot of other advisors and agents. Having watched some of my YouTube videos, he ended up signing up on our VIP elite program, where we take people from start to finish for their investments. And then we started the process of doing the strategy development for him, and then implementing and finding the right properties. We found a very good investment property and a home. I wish him all the best. I believe it's about helping the client find the best properties, and we can invest in the client's future.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, everybody. We're going live today on Saturday, a little bit earlier or a little bit on time, let's say. Yeah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. The idea for the live is to connect, share, for me to learn from you guys, and for you guys to tell me a little bit about how life is on your end as well, right? So I'd like to know how things are on your side, how things are, oh my, ooh la la, how things are on your side, and what you been up to, guys. What are you been up to? Rising 4666, Anil Bahrani, Saud Ahmed, Saud Hamid, Ahlan wa sahlan. Kif halak? How are you doing, brother? Ha, Baba Saud Hamid, mashallah. Rising Force, Straight Path. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hey, brother, Straight Path. Mashallah, haven't seen you in a long time. Catch you on a Saturday and then have a discussion about real estate and Dubai South. And should I sell? Should I buy? Yeah, mashallah. Allahumma barak. Okay, guys, thanks very much for everybody who's joined in. Let's do some Q&A. Anybody who's got real estate questions, real estate agent questions, Saud Hamid, car questions. I cannot answer any car questions. Mashallah. Allahumma barak. Yeah. How is everybody? Thanks very much for joining. Rising Force, have you decided on where to buy yet? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, Saud. Thanks for the salam. Rising Force, yeah, are you still on the fence, or have you now taken the plunge? Have you actually bought something? Okay, so I'm happy to have your questions come through. In the meantime, while your questions are coming through, or you guys are thinking about what to ask, what not to ask, I'm going to answer some questions that come through to me. Okay, mashallah. I've got a question from online from Muhammad Jamil Akhtar. Okay, this is a question from Muhammad Jamil Akhtar. What will be your advice for foreign investors? Okay, that's mashallah good. And then he asks, so what will be your advice for foreign investors? This is from Muhammad Jamil Akhtar. What will be your advice for foreign investors? Secondly, what additional benefits they get? What additional benefits they get when they invest in Dubai, UAE? Residency or visa-free arrival, departures, tax-free life. Yeah, okay. So you mentioned a few things that makes already some sense. Tax-free residency and so on and so forth. But if you're asking me, Mr. Muhammad Jamil Akhtar, what advice I would give to foreign investors is, look, Dubai as a market's quite strong in terms of its being here for almost 25 years now, right? So it's quarter of a century. I don't think it's kind of like going anywhere. So what I would suggest is that you, first of all, if you're sitting anywhere foreign like Canada, USA, Europe, East Asia, China, India, Pakistan, Africa, I would start saying that you should start looking at the Dubai real estate market, which means that you should start researching and understanding. Now, that's the first step, okay? So first of all, I would advise that, yes, you should, not should, I would advise that you start looking at Dubai real estate as potential for investment. There's no should and there's no guarantee that you have to do this, right? But I would say I would suggest you should start looking at it as an extra source of investment avenue that has stable options for return. Okay, so Dubai real estate now is much more mature. It is, in my opinion, stabler than it was when it was launched 25 odd years ago. Therefore, you can, if you're in the West, start looking at Dubai as an option, or the UAE as an option to start investing. Okay, so you would start your research at this level, and then you can start drilling down. I can give you one short answer. If you were to compare the GCC countries, Dubai or the UAE is much far ahead in terms of regulation, resellability, rentability, liquidity, so on and so forth. So, in my personal opinion, and this is you could say I'm a little biased, but I'm based in Dubai. I see Dubai being number one in the region, or the UAE being number one in the region. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you should start understanding a little bit about the basics of the market, what to invest, what not to invest. Now, it depends on how much time you have. Okay, so if you have a lot of time on your hands, you'll start doing that yourself. If not, bring in or hire a consultant, an advisor like ourselves, and then we will guide you through the process of understanding the pros, the cons, ins, the outs, how you can invest, so on and so forth. Dubai does have 200 plus nationalities that have invested in the Dubai real estate market. So if you're looking at Dubai and you're looking to come into the Dubai market to invest, I think it's a good place to start. Just understand the market a little bit better than just making decisions off sales pitches. Yeah, that's what I would advise to foreign investors. The benefits you get is, obviously, there is the 10-year golden visa that gives you residency in the UAE. If you need to establish a second residency, that's very easy to do then. Yes, there are tax benefits. There's no income tax at the moment, alhamdulillah. There is no income tax on any capital. There's no capital gains tax. So if you buy something for 1 million dirhams and you sell it for 3 million dirhams, there is no income tax. Okay, straight. So those are the like absolute starter benefits. Assalamu alaikum, Rashid H1111, Dr. Ali M Thani Al Sumaiti, ahlan wa sahlan. How are you doing, brothers? Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining in. Please send in your questions, and if you don't, then I have some questions that I have already received and I'm going to be answering. Okay, so thank you, Muhammad Jamil Akhtar, for that question. Straight Path says, need a detailed video on Blue Line Metro. Okay, inshallah, I'll do that. Which communities it will touch and what properties are 10 minutes walk to the new stations? That's very good. And in fact, what we should do is, not just that, we can look at historical data. Historical data on how the current, I think it's the red and green line, how the current red and green line or the current metro affected property prices. Because definitely we saw alhamdulillah, yeah, brother Straight Path, you know what? If you ask me this question, is it advisable to buy an investment property to start with and get good rental yield, and then buy your home using it, or would it be better to buy a home in the first go? Both are correct. Both are okay. In the UAE environment, if you ask me, I would say buy the home first. Okay, buy the home first. Like, I don't know how many people over here rent. Okay, just, raise your hands, or have rented or were renting before, right? I don't know if you've had this experience, but I've had this experience many, many years, right? Alhamdulillah. Every time the rental renewal comes up, it's a little bit of a struggle. It's a little bit of a give and take fight. Like, unless you have like an amazing landlord who says, look, I'm not increasing rent, just stay there. We love you. We love each other. And we're happy as our tenant. And we're happy for you to just stay there, right? Basically, like we like you being here. And that's it. Otherwise, there's a whole set of dramas that take place. Whether the rents are going down or whether the rents are going up. When the rents are going down, the set of drama that takes place is the tenants have the more stronger arm. And then they squeeze and twist the landlord as much as they can or more. And they say, look, I'm not going to renew because the so and so is available at this price and right? And when the rents are going up, it's the exact opposite. What ends up happening? When the rents are going up, the exact opposite happens. The landlords have a strong arm. So they come in and they say, look, you need to vacate, you need to do this. And then not all landlords follow the rules of law. Some want to rent it at a higher rent and will just tell you we're selling. Please move. Like they want to break the rental index, right? They want to go beyond the rental index. Read Meta School. Assalamu alaikum. How you doing, brother? And some people, then they follow the rental index. But then even if they're all following the rental index, what ends up happening is there are times when you need something fixed in the apartment or the villa, and all of a sudden they're telling you, we're not doing this. This is your responsibility. So that said, in the UAE, I think, in my opinion, okay, this is just opinion, I think you should buy. Zain Zafar, Read Meta School, Saud. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Read Meta. How you doing, brother? Guys, check out Read Meta School. An amazing. Okay, I don't know if I can do a promotion, but Read Meta School. This is run by a brother. This is not a paid promotion, but it is a option for people who want to do amazing homeschooling with their kids. Read Meta School, yeah. Check out their profile. And understand what they do, and then maybe it's a good fit for you and your children. This is not a promotion, not paid advertising, and it's not an endorsement. You should go, but check it out, yeah? All right, mashallah. Allah Mubarak. All right, guys, welcome back. So, so straight path, this is my advice. Agar aap, because what ends up happening is your dream property might be like 2 million dirhams today. You buy something else, hopefully it works out, hopefully it doesn't work out. And then by the time you're ready to buy that dream home, it's no longer 2 million. It's 4 million. This has happened with me and my clients. So I'm just basing it off my personal experience. They wanted a townhouse in Dubai Hills. Well, they started at 2.5 million or maybe even less than that. Then post-pandemic, right in the pandemic, they were at 4 million, and now they're like 5 million, 6 million. So it's a little bit of a challenge, guys. Yeah, a little bit of a challenge. So my suggestion is in Dubai, buy your first home, or in the UAE, buy your first home if you're planning on staying here, and then go on to do your investment properties. That's my opinion, okay, today. A lot of times you'll hear people up front online saying, no, you should buy your property first, never buy a home, etc., etc., etc. My opinion, you should get your home first, okay? This is my opinion only, all right? All right, guys, let's take some investor questions, mashallah. It's Raza Khalid, assalamu alaikum. How are you? Welcome. Okay, I'm seeing, so what's this question? I'm seeing massive price appreciation in some areas. Should I take profits now or hold for the longer term gains? You want my answer? Hold for the longer term gains. Okay, so just hold for the longer term gains. Do not, in my opinion, this is my opinion, do not start right now. Wait for the longer term gains. Okay, this is my personal opinion, and I'll tell you why. Okay, and I'll give you a very standard answer. I'm going to give you a very standard answer, but you've got to pay attention to this. Okay, let's say if you buy in a community, let's say you bought in a community called Imar Beachfront. Okay, all right. You bought in a community called Imar Beachfront, okay? So you bought in a community called Imar Beachfront, okay? Welcome Real Estate Info 25. Saeed Extra, mashallah. How are you? Blackwater SR, welcome. Krishna, welcome. So if you bought in Imar Beachfront, you've bought one apartment, But the master developer spent about $1 billion on building all the infrastructure around in that area. Okay. Now, all that infrastructure that was built over 5 years, with a cruise terminal on one side, broad highways, amazing beachfront property, all of that leads into your property. So your property that you bought at 2.5 million might be 4 million, 4.5 million today. However, when you sell that, you've got to remember, like, if you're selling that, do you have another option to go into a community where that kind of infrastructure is getting built or already is built? Right? So don't forget this. You're getting the benefit of 4 billion dirhams worth of infrastructure around you, right? If, let's say, for instance, if you were in Dubai Hills Mall, Dubai Hills, what does Dubai Hills have today? It has a mall that's fully operational. It has a garden that's fully ready. It has a golf course that's amazing, right? So you got all of these things that do wonders for you. So if you sell your apartment there, you've got to then go. Can you go and replace that apartment in a community that has a full ready mall run by the top developer or one of the top developers in Dubai? Can you do that? Do you have a golf course proximity? Do you have a golf club? Welcome Jamal. Welcome Mariam. Waqas Ali. Do you have all of that? So if you don't have that, you can sell, book your profit. But up next, yeah. What's next? So when you're looking at selling and then buying again, guys, listen, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to allow your vision to do the best for you. Does that make sense? So if your vision was to go into a community that's unready and then get the growth and then exit, good. So then you would go today to a community that's going to see that kind of growth. But then are you ready to take that risk? Are you ready to take that risk? Does that make sense, right? So a lot of people don't understand this. They sell. Then they're like, okay, we're now stuck. Where should we invest? They buy the wrong things. So in my opinion, hold for long-term gain, okay? With Dubai's population expected to hit 5.8 million by 2040, this is a question. Which property types will benefit most from this demographic shift? I think in the short term, we are still in short supply for family properties, okay? So 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, townhouses, and then villas, okay? Villas, the pool of buyers and tenants is lower on the villas end, right? Hey guys, welcome Gabriel, Yaqub Al-Shabibi, salam alaikum. Jamal Ahmed, salam alaikum. Double S Real Estate, Saeed Extra, Kef Halij, how are you doing, brother? You okay? All right. So guys, if you have questions, please push them across to me. I'll be very happy to answer, okay? Okay, so here's a question by an investor. I've been buying individual units. Is it worth considering whole building acquisitions for better control over rental management? Yes, it should. And I will tell you that this is an experience I had in 2013. I ran into a gentleman, I still remember, India, and his partner was from Iraq. So they were India and Iraq partners. And this is what ended up happening. Like, to be honest with you, I remember this very clearly. What they did was they talked to each other. They said, look, we've got apartments all across Dubai in all the different areas. What we want to do is we want to buy a plot of land and build one building and then just manage it in one way, right? Because imagine if you've got an apartment in one building in one location and then you've got no control on how the building is being managed or the elevators are getting done, right? Or let's say if you've got an apartment in Business Bay, for example, right? Let's, for argument's sake, any of the towers here, the good towers, right? If you've got an apartment in Business Bay, then, and one, let's say, in somewhere else, what's going to happen, right? What's going to happen? Think about it.
you're managing apartments, but you've got no rights on the building, right? So you got no rights on the building. You don't know what you're doing, and you can't really control it, right? So what ends up happening? What ends up happening is you have less control. So if you want more control, then you build apartments or buildings yourself. All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome everybody who's on Instagram. Thank you for being here. Real Estate Info 25. What's the daily question? What's the question that you got? Okay. Gabriel, Yaqub, Shabibi, Al Shabibi, Jamal Ahmed, Yaqub Al Shabibi, Jacob, Krishna Unni, Double S Real Estate, Said Extra, Blackwater SR, Raji Na. Raji Na. So, okay, so I've got some questions here. Hey, guys, shoot your questions across Real Estate Info. What's the question of the day, okay? If not, I'm going to ask you guys a question, okay? Okay, so... So this is a question. Jamal Camps, Assalamu alaikum. Yes, how you doing, brother? So this is an interesting question. I like this question. How do I this is from an agent. How do I handle investors who want to structure complex deals involving multiple properties or special financing arrangements? You do that if you have the experience, and if you don't, you pull in somebody who has that necessary experience. That's very important, guys, okay? Do that with people who have experience. Let them lead the transaction, and what's going to end up happening is, as they're leading the transaction, you can then shadow them over there, and when you're shadowing them, you will see the way they structure transactions, okay? I've seen amazing structuring by people who have experience, because here's the thing, you don't need to be a financial guru to be able to structure transactions. You need to be a financially well settled person, so you understand finance. Okay, welcome Sanya Jamil. You got to be financially acutely aware of how things operate, but then you've got to be also real estate savvy in Dubai. Okay, Jamal Camps, 40% due on handover. Could you recommend any Islamic banks? I can't recommend any Islamic banks because I'm not a banker. What I can recommend to you is get in touch with us. We can put you in touch with a consultant. Number one. Number two, obviously there's a lot of choice with banks in the UAE. I would recommend that my recommendation is use a consultant, okay? Unless you want to do this directly with the banks yourself, I recommend using a consultant. This is just my opinion today. Anybody can correct me, okay? The reason I'm saying this is that banks are also quite busy. So you want somebody who's going to actually be incentivized completely to actually do the paperwork and get you things sorted out for you. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, all right, guys, get your questions in. Today's live not gonna be super long, so I would love to. Would they check your UK credit history? I'm not sure, but maybe yes. Okay, so that's why you use a consultant who can give you these answers much easily. Okay, Mr. Prince Sahu 111 joined. Welcome. All right, let's take some questions from investors. Okay, I'm not getting questions from you guys, but okay, let's take a question from investors. Okay, let me ask everybody one thing. Okay, what's the one thing that you want to achieve today, or what's the one thing that you really dreaming about, looking forward to today or this week? Okay, I want to hear from you guys. Any personal goals this day, today? Any personal goals for today? Alhamdulillah. Yeah. Anything very special today? Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this. Right. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, so this is an investor who's saying, I'm getting exit opportunities on some of my older investments. How do I decide between selling and reinvesting versus holding for legacy wealth? Okay, this is good. This is not very difficult to do. So the parameters you would look at is building age, okay, rental income, capital appreciation for the last, let's say,
4 or 5 or 10 years or 6 years or 7 years. You would look at all of these numbers, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to then be able to map out a graph. So if the building age is increasing, I would say, and it's not being, and then you would say, is it being managed well? If it's not being managed well, then this would be a negative, okay? If the rent has been slowing down in this category, in this area, would be a negative. If the maintenance charges have been going up year on year, negative. If capital appreciation is slowing down, okay, so there was heavy increase and now it's slowing down, then this is a negative. But if it's the opposite, the building's getting managed well, or the community is getting managed very well, rents have been going up, maybe if not consistently, but they are going up. Your service charges are not super high, maintenance charges are not super high. Your vacancy period has been low. These are things that obviously you can today sit down and calculate this for the last 5 years. Like, how would you do that, right? So if I told you, calculate vacancy period for the last 5 years, you could sit down and say, I've got a tenant in my property for the last 5 years. The vacancy was 0. How long did it take you to find that tenant? Hey, it took only 1 month. You're pretty low, right? So now if you say, hey, no, I had a tenant move in and out, or I had tenants move in and out. So now you're thinking, okay, every time a tenant moved out, I remember it took me a month to rent out or 2 months to rent out, right? So now you're thinking, okay, interesting. My vacancy was 2 months, first time in 2020. Then in 2022, the vacancy period was 2.5 months or 1 month less, right? And then so on and so forth it went, right? So what would end up happening is you can easily calculate vacancy period. Then you can calculate rent as well. Did rent go up? Did rent come down? When the pandemic ended, did things rent really well? Or did things rent really bad, right? Right? So if it went down, so now you've got a model, bless you, that tells you this property should be held or this property should be sold, right? Does that make sense, guys? Sherwani Arib, mashallah. Real estate info. Oh, we're getting a call coming in. All right, guys, sorry about that. Okay. Maybe it gets a little disconnected, but there was a call coming in. All right, bismillah. Yalla, does that make sense, guys? This is really good. Oof, ya Rab. I wish I could actually. MashaAllah. This is very, very good. Very good. All right, guys. Thank you very much for attending today's live. I'm super excited for the questions that came through. We're going to end today's live now. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. And, see you again next week. We might run a poll to do lives on Fridays. Or we might do Fridays and Saturdays. I'm not sure. All right, guys. Benefits of UK older house, value goes up more. Okay, yeah. So Jamal says benefits of UK older house, value goes up. This is true, right? Thank you, Jamal, for sharing that, brother. Thanks very much. Take care. Goodbye, guys. Bye-bye.
This is a very interesting client story. One of my favorites. The entire process was a lot of fun. I hope it was a lot of fun for him as well. This gentleman was absolutely new to investing in the Dubai real estate market, and he was looking for the best ROI. Before he ever spoke to me and my team, he had already interviewed a lot of other advisors and agents. Having watched some of my YouTube videos, he ended up signing up on our VIP elite program, where we take people from start to finish for their investments. And then we started the process of doing the strategy development for him, and then implementing and finding the right properties. We found a very good investment property and a home. I wish him all the best. I believe it's about helping the client find the best properties, and we can invest in the client's future.